this is Mike DeMora coming to you from Redondo Beach, California in our NCEP Fitness office. So I wanted to pick up where we left off last week. Last week, if you remember, we were going over, well, what happens after you become a personal trainer and you're certified? Well, what happens typically is the first place we think you should start or stay and be there forever, but one of the places we think that you can really get your, get your beak wet and really get an idea of what this training thing's about is to work in a big box club. What is a big box club? Just basically any club that you've ever heard of. Any one of our partners, EOS Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, Lifetime Fitness, American Family Fitness, and so many others that I can't even think of right now. Anyway, what happens after you get hired? So last week, if you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch our blogs, but last week we talked about what do you do? Like, what are the numbers? How are you going to make this work? And what we told you is that basically you're going to need to talk to 10 people and offer a free personal training session, consultation, whatever words you want to use, to be able to fill your books, right? So you're going to talk to 10 people, more than likely, before even one person says, hey, that they agree, right? So you're going to talk to 10 people to get one person on your list. So our whole idea is that you should do about 20 sessions minimum per week. So if you wanted to get 20 sessions on your books for next week, you're going to need to talk to a minimum of 200 people. Got it? Does that make sense? Everyone got the math? You talk to 200 people, 1 out of every 10, divide 200 by the 1 out of every 10, and basically you end up with what? You end up with 20 hours of people signed on your books. So now the next question is this. All right, so 20 hours. Now the next question is, right, of those 20 people that are taking the free session, how many people are going to actually pay for personal training? That is the question. Now remember, you've already quote unquote pre-qualified these people. In other words, nobody would take a free session with you if they hated the idea of working with a trainer. Does that make sense? So you've already got a higher level of qualification for these individuals. So now it comes down to, is your session worth as much or more than what you charge? I don't know. Is it? What do you do during this session? So we strongly suggest that you start with what we call the health history. The health history, once again, we did a whole nother blog on this. So look through our blogs. We believe the health history is very, very important. And one of the questions on the health history should always be, what are your goals, right? What are your goals? What do you want to get accomplished? Now remember, if you qualified the person correctly, the person that you're talking to will have a goal that's in your wheelhouse, right? They'll check your box. In other words, if you are a trainer who wants to work with people, let's just say who need to lose or want to lose more than 30 pounds, right? Now, when you go and ask people, you want to see the people that want to lose 30 pounds or more. Now, you don't say that straight out, hey, you look like somebody who should lose 30 pounds. I strongly urge you not to do that. But you go up to people that you think, or at least quote unquote, want to lose weight, right? So now you've pre-qualified them. Now when they get to their goal and they say their goal is to lose 30 pounds, you should have a list, whether it be a hard list or at least a list in your head. You should have a ton of other people that you've worked with that have lost that amount of weight or more, right? That should be in your wheelhouse. Now, even if it's your friends, your family, people that you know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You should have individuals in your wheelhouse. And what would be amazing if it was actually you, right? So typically we like to find something that we feel good about because we've gone through it. There's that instant bond, that instant connection. You should be able to pull up a picture of yourself. Let's say you were 50, 60, 80 pounds higher than you are right now. You show a picture and you say, look at me. This was me 1 year ago. This was me 2 years ago. I went down this path. And I can do this with you. I can help you. I am your perfect coach. I am your perfect guide to get you through this. Does that make sense? It's really hard to teach something that you don't know about or haven't been through yourself. Now, I want to try to make sure we qualify that as well. Now, if let's say you've played football before, right? It doesn't mean you need to be the best football player ever to help someone become a better football player. Okay, so it doesn't always mean you need to be the best in anything. It just means you need to have been part of it. You need to have understood what it takes to go through this. Okay, are we with you? Okay, on the same page? Great, great, great. So once again, I bring up to you, how many people out of those 20 hours are you going to sign for personal training? Give me a number out of 20. How do you think you're going to do? What? Are we going to close 50%? Are we going to close 40%, 30%, 20%? What are we going to do? For easy math, let's just say we're going to land what? We're going to land 50%. You're going to sign one out of every two people. So if we're doing 50%, now we have 10 people, right? 10 clients. Now of these 10 clients, what do you think you're going to sell them on? Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? I'm going to tell you that the easiest package to sell is twice a week. Twice a week. If you do more, that's better. You do less, that's still great, right? But we want to shoot for a minimum of twice a week. And that way, basically, you're seeing them 2 out of every 7 days. It's more of a chance for them to be successful. So if they're doing what? Twice a week, 10 clients, that means you have instantly filled your 20 hours, which was your goal at the time, right? So your goal was to fill those 20 hours. You can fill those 20 hours in how long a time? That's the question I've got to ask you, right? First, it has to do with feeling good about what it is that you're training. Do you feel comfortable? Practice with your friends, practice with your family. Do you have a set of folks that have been able to give you recommendations that, they write down and say, I loved working with this guy. He's great. He's fantastic. I lost 30 pounds. I lost 20 pounds. I am now able to do this or able to do that. Once again, I don't want to form what it is that you want to do. I want you to just be thinking about it because you need to know what it is that you want to do, who you want to work with. Who is your perfect client? Keep that in your mind. Always keep it in your head. Always know who it is that you want to work with, and those are the people that you will keep attracting into your life. Does that make sense? Have a whole folder there. You might even want to have a folder with pictures and bios and things of the people that you've worked with and their success stories. That always helps, okay? Always helps. People want to feel like they're not alone in this. Right? People want to feel like, wow, you are the expert and you've already worked with 3, 4, 5 people. And once again, as I said earlier, if you're the actual one who went through that is just an amazing, amazing connection. People will always want to be with someone who is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of them. Everybody, that is the best way to learn, someone who's just ahead of them. Which goes back to one of our other blogs that we talked about. Do you remember we talked about it's really hard if you are just ripped, ripped solid, like you're just muscles rippling everywhere, right? And then all of a sudden you meet with somebody who wants to lose 50 pounds. Do you understand that's there's a big gap between full rips, 3, 4, 5% body fat and someone who's 50 pounds overweight. It's a really tough sell. I'm not saying you can't do it. Now remember, if you were 50 pounds heavier and now you're ripped and look like that, that's still in that same ballpark and you can do that sale. But if you are 50 pounds overweight, right? And you're working with a client that wants to lose 50 pounds and you're ripped and shredded and you've never been anything but ripped and shredded. I'm sorry. That's a tough sell. That's a tough sell. So once again, really decide on who you want to work with, what type of client you want to work with. And your numbers will go up and up and up. 50% is a good ratio. Remember, if this is 50% of what? Of people that you've personally spoken to before. You've personally signed up and said, let's go train at this time. And I personally want to give you a free assessment and personal training session. So you should sign 50% of those people to packages. The easiest package to always sell is 10, right? It just seems to be the one that sells the most. Now, typically, when you sell, you have a range of sessions. You can sell one, which should be more expensive, or you can sell 10, 20, 30, even a year package, which should be what? Less per hour for each session. Your club, if you work at a club, will already have these all set up. But you want to give a maximum of 3 options. 3 options, right? Do you want 1, 10, or 20 sessions? Boom. And here's what's most important when you're presenting. Present the options and shut up. Wow, was that an uncomfortable silence? Well, sometimes you're going to need it, right? You present the option after you've spoken with them, after you know that they're interested in training. While you're working with them, you want to try to get them to say yes. I don't care if it's something as silly as, do you think the sky looks blue today? Yes, right? Are you wearing a baseball cap? Yes. Get them to say yes, and then you present the package, right? Then you present the package with them and you say, I have 3 options to give you. Do you want the 1 session, the 10 session, or the 20 session package? Let me give you the features. Feature 1, it's going to be $80 per hour. Feature 2, it's going to be what? $60 an hour. Or feature 3 is our most value at $40 per hour. And then shut up, right? And that's the key, okay? Because they're thinking about it. If they don't give you a direct final answer, then that means you've given them something really good to think about. That means that they really like the session and they're thinking about it. So look, this isn't going to be a full sales thing. I'm not trying to go through all the different sales options and what have you, because we truly believe that you're selling yourself and you're selling what you do, and what you do should speak for itself. The only thing we suggest, once again, is get them to say yes a few times. Get them to say yes somewhere during the conversation, and then when you present it, be quiet. Present it, sit it there, and wait. And wait. And it may be awkward, but you wait. And you see what they say. All right, enough for today. But I just wanted to make sure you understood. And then the end all be all would be if you filled your 20 hours. Remember, 20 hours is going to be at what? $25 an hour? I'm just throwing that number out there. I don't know how much you're going to get paid as a trainer, but we do know that it's a whole lot more than when you're doing the marketing hours, or you're doing the hours where you're just member service, right? So let's say it's $25 an hour. Now we're up to $500 per week, right? Plus your 20 marketing hours at $10. So now you're getting another $200. So now we're up to $700 a week. $700 a week. That's what? It's about $3,000 a month. It's about $36,000 per year. Okay, just throwing out some quick numbers. Once again, I wanted you to understand what it is that you're getting into. I don't want anybody becoming a trainer then all of a sudden going, wow, this is not what I expected. Just want to throw out some real numbers with some real people with some true scenarios that happen all the time. Alrighty, tune in next week. We're going to even take it another step further. Thank you so much. God bless.